If you lined up every human who ever lived, statistically half of them would be standing somewhere in India or China. For most of human history, if you picked a random person on Earth, there was a good chance they were in India or China, farming something, inventing something, or just trying not to flood. These weren't emerging markets, they were the markets. The reason? Geography. Stick around, I'll explain. If you're wondering how two regions ended up hogging most of humanity, here's the short answer. Rivers, rice, and the Tibetan Plateau acting like Earth's sketchiest water tank. The plateau is basically a giant ice chest that leaks south and east on purpose, feeding the Ganges, the Indus, the Yangtze, the Yellow River, and a ton of others. Those rivers dump silt onto floodplains so fertile they might as well come with Wi-Fi. You add predictable monsoons, and suddenly life is an all-you-can-eat buffet of carbohydrates. And then there's rice. Rice is the prehistoric version of performance-enhancing drugs for population growth. Wheat feeds a village. Rice feeds a civilization. It packs way more calories per acre, grows in standing water, and basically prints humans faster than Europe could invent surnames. So with rivers doing overtime, soil juice like it's on agricultural pre-workout, and weather that mostly cooperates, India and China didn't just grow. They mass-produced people like it's a side hustle. For 2,000 years, India and China shared half of the world's GDP. Then came the Industrial Revolution. Europe invented factory manners and colonialism, which in human terms is like a rival gym suddenly getting all the cool machines. The economic center of gravity tilted west. India's share sank. China's share sank. It was a rough patch, like your favorite show getting cancelled for a decade. Suddenly, one British dude with a steam engine outproduces 1,000 farmers. India gets colonized. China gets opened up with opium and a lot of treaties. India's global GDP share falls from 24% to 4%. China's from 33% to single digits. But here's the twist. Geography doesn't retire. Rivers, soil, population, they stayed. So when tech and policy returned to Asia in the late 1900s, the stage was still set. China opened up in 1978 and turned into the world's manufacturing supervillain faster than anyone expected. They industrialized so efficiently that entire supply chains now depend on places you couldn't locate without autocorrect holding your hand. India liberalized in 1991 and decided to become tech support for the planet. The world's economic center of gravity shifted back towards Asia. Today, two enormous markets, billions of consumers, and labor forces that make corporations from all over the world drool. India just surpassed China in population. They added more Indians than Europeans, pretending colonialism was a cultural exchange program. Together, they control a giant share of world trade, global supply chains, and the future workforce. So, who wins the next 50 years? The short answer is both. India has the demographic advantage, more consumers, and fewer retirement homes. China has infrastructure, tech, and an economy built like a well-organized panic attack. The only real threats are climate chaos, bad policy, and whatever the next global supply chain disaster looks like. But statistically speaking, Asia has survived everything from Mongol invasions to the British discovering salt taxes, so odds are decent. India and China didn't rise through motivational quotes or 5-year plans. They were pre-installed by geography. When you've got rivers that irrigate half a subcontinent, soil on performance enhancers, and monsoons doing annual refills, nature basically scripts your population and GDP for you. So no, India and China didn't rise. They were the main characters all along. Everyone else just interrupted them for 2 centuries. Anyway, please hit the like button, subscribe, and argue in the comments about which country invented more stuff before Europe claimed credit for it.